Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 941. I'm your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Scott. What's up, Scott? You're muted.
Okay. Hello, all. There we go.
All right. What's up, Mike D?
Shit.
What's up, Chris?
What's up, everybody?
All right, so what do we got, Chris?
Okay, so other than that, what we talked about, it looks like The Rock's next billion-dollar movie has been announced. He's going to be in a movie from Universal Pictures and Legendary Pictures called Skyscraper.
What?
He's got a picture online of the script with a fire extinguisher, so I'm assuming he's going to be a firefighter or something.
This is like a remake of Towering Inferno or something.
Oh.
Skyscraper, because that was in that Paul Newman, Steve McQueen movie. They made like
that was I love that movie.
Because if he's a
But I thought if he had a gap in his schedule, he was supposed to do G.I. Joe 3.
Well, maybe he's going to do two movies at once. It's not above him. I mean, he did movies and then he flew to do like WWE stuff in like a day.
He's also rumored
does do a
doing,
big schedule.
Doc Savage.
Well, if he's doing Skyscraper and it's actually like a remake of Towering Inferno, as far as like schedule wise conflicting, it wouldn't, because all of the people, it was like an all-star cast, and Steve McQueen was the fire chief in that. So if he's portraying that character, it's not like he's carrying the whole movie himself. He's just an actor in the film.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, all right, look, he's in demand right now, so they want him to do everything. So you might as well just keep doing it. And he's like Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson's in every freaking movie there is, just about. So, all right. So what we're doing this version now. What's with Suicide Squad 2? Rehash us.
Right. Yeah. So the writer of the Legend of Tarzan and Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit is probably going to be writing Suicide Squad 2. And
there's nobody else that can get like that than them. Like Tarzan, I didn't see. And
I heard an interesting
point
today.
Tarzan, it was decent. It was good.
Yeah, like Scott just said.
It's a renter. I will say that much. But at least it's been better than the ones.
So prior. Warner Brothers is gonna. That's what we're gonna do with Warner Brothers. Decent stuff, thinking we're gonna make like $1 billion.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. Like Scott just said, he said it was decent. I had heard. I haven't seen Legend of Tarzan. I'll probably check it out sometime in the future. But apparently, the story wasn't bad, even though the movie didn't do that great. The story, they said, wasn't a problem. It was just, I guess, maybe the time that it came out.
Well,
and
that's
the fact
always
that
the thing.
Tarzan's not really in demand.
Placement of the movies.
Yeah. So I mean, if they're because one of my bigger problems with Suicide Squad was the story itself. Like, to me, the story just didn't really. There wasn't much to it, and what was there didn't make much sense. So if they can get a better story and or not a better director, but a different director who will maybe do, obviously a different style, maybe Suicide Squad 2 could be good. And
I think Mel Gibson would be a nice fit for it.
Sure.
But I want to talk about Warner Brothers continuing. And we touched on it a little bit, but I got to say how pissed off I am about this whole Matrix movies being rebooted. All right? I mean, if you think about how much money the movies made, at the time, it was a huge deal, the Matrix movies, okay? I mean, I'm not going to say it was on the caliber of Star Wars, but it was pretty huge because they didn't have anything like that at that time. So, like, why can't they treat it like Star Wars, where they could just make sequels or prequels or whatever? Why do you have to mess with, like, do we really want to see the character of Neo played by someone else, or a different name but like the same thing, or repeat of the whole movie? I mean, don't they do that every 30 years?
I would rather see a continuation, because that's what I assumed they were going to do in the first place if it went to TV. I assumed they were going to do this whole thing called Matrix Rebooted, and something went funky, and they had to fix or patch everything. You wouldn't have any of the original cast, but maybe the council members would be the only ones who would be the actors who play the council members in Zion would be the only ones who would be returning, or even the the controller dude at the end of 3.
But even the choice of the actor. I mean,
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves did Speed. He did Point Break, right? He did all these, Bill and Ted. He did all this stuff, right? And he got the Matrix movie. Like Michael B. Jordan, he did Chronicle,
Which was good.
right?
I will say this: that's the only found footage movie I've ever really liked.
Me too. And he did Creed, which was amazing. But then Fantastic Four, I hated it. So I mean, 2 movies that are really. I mean, this is what you do. You put them behind one of the biggest franchises.
Only
Well,
thing I
if they
can
don't do it, somebody's going to do it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, why Michael B. Jordan? Like, I mean, why? Because he's in Black Panther movie now.
Well, no, but you said it yourself though. He did Chronicle and Creed. In my opinion, I don't know about you. I don't know about anybody else, but I would personally consider Michael B. Jordan a better actor than Keanu Reeves. I mean, his delivery, the way he emotes is much. Keanu Reeves has kind of like his own style, which is fine. It works for the movies that he's in. But I think Michael B. Jordan is a bit more flexible as an actor. I think he could do different roles. So I don't mind him being in the Matrix. What I don't understand, I agree with you on this. I don't understand why they have to reboot it because there's really no reason to. The only thing I can think of is they want to get away from that stigma that Revolutions and Reloaded made for the series because, like we said before, those 2 movies did not do the series any favors. They're genuinely disliked by most people. And to get away from that, maybe they think, you know what, we just reboot the whole thing and start from square one.
Because they know from their attempts with the Superman Returns, they really can't go back and go, well, if we just make this here, people will forget this. And that's another thing they're probably...
I mean, the way I look at it is I liked Reloaded and Revolutions, although, because they had a lot of stuff in there that I liked. A lot. There was one big thing I hated in Reloaded, and that's the whole ending, where it was anti-climax. There was no big thing. It was like, Smith is in the human body, and they showed them together. It reminded me of something like one of those old movies, like a stupid ending.
Yeah.
That was the only thing, because I liked Reloaded because this time, even though like Neo was like fighting and everything, Morpheus got a bigger role, and Morpheus was taking on these things that were different in the Matrix, sort of like the old Hammer vampire things, and they didn't even get to fight Neo. And I really liked those characters, those twins. Like I really thought, oh my God, if they came back, they could fight Neo or whatever, and they could have a different aspect of the Matrix, like creatures and different things.
As if during the final battle somehow his psyche had split and.
No, but I'm saying there's a lot of things in the Matrix besides Agent Smith, like those 2 guys, they probably would have whooped Neo's ass. I mean, Morpheus took care of it, but I'm just saying that was different stuff in Reloaded. Now, in Revolutions, I like the whole movie with the exception of what happened at the end, where I wasn't really happy with that, the way it ended, where he just, all right, he gave in, but it made sense what happened. He had to make him believe that he was defeated because he was hooked up to the main computer mainframe. So that way they could charge the virus into his body, into Smith, to destroy Smith. So I got that. But still, I wasn't happy with he went blind. I wasn't happy with Trinity died. It was kind of like bullshit to me, And
as if they needed a quickie ending to a movie, and they just wrote anything down that sounds sensible.
And then it's like, oh, we have a truce, but how are you going to freaking survive? Like you know what I'm saying? Like they use humans. So my thing is that, well, if that friggin' lady, the Oracle, is alive and the kid's alive, Neo's definitely alive because like even though he exploded, so did they. They all exploded, but they're still there. And he has friggin' powers, and they don't. So, of course he's going to be alive in the Matrix sequels. And it's not even that, oh, it's the Messiah resurrect. No, they all lived. So
how about this? In one, maybe not in the first one, But how about in the second or third one, they go searching for Neo because they heard about the legend of him, and they think that he's still inside the Matrix when in reality he's not.
Well, I would actually have Morpheus look for Neo, but the thing was, I also would solve the Trinity thing too. I would have it that, they have Neo, but all right, he's completely
And that's the
healed.
whole
He's
point.
got
That's the whole point too. In the whole second or third in search of, you come to find out Trinity did survive, and she's caring for Neo while he's trying.
Well, I would have her that she was so messed up they had to make her robotic. They had to build her a machine body, and that would be the kicker, that it's her consciousness and a machine body, a mixture of the two. I mean, that could be something interesting.
You know what would be an interesting idea? If they did the idea of maybe not a complete reboot, but they did a soft reboot of the series where the other 3 movies still happened, but we have different characters. And the reason being, because like you said, there are some good things about Reloaded. The one part, really the only part that I liked about Reloaded was when Neo meets the architect, and the architect is explaining the function of the Matrix and the One and why the Matrix does certain things. Something that always struck me about that scene was the architect said that Neo was not the first one.
Yeah,
that there were others. So maybe what they could do is they could sell this as a reboot, and then the twist of the series, or maybe of the first movie or whatever, is that Michael B. Jordan's character, or if he's not the main character, another character, but let's assume that it's him. Michael B. Jordan's character is the next one, and what somewhere along the line, the machines kind of retook control. Zion is where it is, but that whole function where it said you have to pick a certain number of males and females to continue the human race so that this can continue. Somewhere along the line, they could say that all this stuff broke down again. The piece broke down, and Michael B. Jordan's character is the next one. And then later on in the series, they find Neo or something like that, and that's how it picks up. So you sell it as a reboot. It's really a soft reboot, and then the twist in the movie is you find out, oh, he's the next one, but Neo is still out there, maybe being held captive by the machines, or maybe the machines think he's dead and they're just holding his body, but he's really alive. I think that would bring a lot of people, that would get the word of mouth out, like, holy shit, we weren't expecting this. If they marketed it correctly, where they don't reveal that and they try to keep it quiet, I think that would be a big selling point for this one and then the rest of the series, because they'd say, oh, it's not a reboot.
Keep it at 3 again. I hate saying it, but the Matrix movies would do better if they keep it at 3, because if they try to shoot for the 4th or 5th one, the idea will get old, or you'd start repeating everything that you did for the first movie.
Well, what they could do is, too, the Merovingian, remember him?
Yeah.
He could want a position of power again, because he feels like his power is slipping. So they could have a scene, because it was always, with him, it was weird. Like, he was in the in-between thing. He knew stuff. Like, he could have trapped Neo forever, It could have been a thing where he goes in the scene and he has this flash drive, and it says Smith on it, meaning that Smith wasn't destroyed. He was just filed away in this thing, and he's just regular Smith, no abilities, and he uses him, bringing him back, and sort of like getting to that twisted side of the Matrix with the twins, the vampires, and all that stuff, and make him kind of rule in a certain area of the Matrix that they're not aware of. And then when they stumble upon him, Agent Smith is there with these creatures or something, and it's like, oh my God, like, throw Michael B. Jordan into that.
Vampires are pretty much his bodyguard.
I mean, I guess they could do that. Personally, I'd like to see a new villain, to be honest with you. I think maybe they could have, maybe what they could do is they could get really creative with it, and they say that the machines have Neo's body, and over time they found a way to replicate his abilities, and they implement that into a new type of agent or something that has like Neo's abilities. Like, you get really cheesy with it and call it like like a -1 or something like that, or a different name, but that would just be like a placeholder. They could do
And the
something like
problem with
that,
it
and then
is they occasionally will. You can see the like quick morphing of into Neo.
something like that. Yeah.
What do you think, Mikey?
I was just soaking in. I haven't really, I don't really remember 2 and 3 that much, but I remember it was kind of like the way that the trilogy was like if you would have followed Star Wars with like 2 mediocre films like Return of the Jedi and like Empire didn't exist.
Right.
Where the first one was great and the other 2 were just kind of like, oh, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be good enough to just carry on with sequels, not, or they could have something where there is a threat to the Earth and the machines need the humans' help to deal with it. Because again, who's to say in this universe that there's not stuff happening? I'm not saying throw aliens into it, but I mean, like, they are in this
It's
fantasy
more like
world.
An eco disaster.
There's stuff going on around them. I mean, in planets and stuff. I mean, eventually there's something's going to happen where they're going to have to team up against some threat that's going to destroy everything, like the Earth or something. I mean, that's,
Yeah, pretty much go back to the old '70s films you see every now and then about the eco.
I mean, like I said, there's beautiful weather above, but then it could be something beyond space, like that they just need to take care of.
The problem with that, though, is now you're taking it out of the narrative, because the narrative of the movie is humanity versus technology. So
Right.
if you throw in a whole nother race, it's like, okay, now where's the narrative going?
But how far could you go with the Matrix movies with freeing people and it's like, all right, who's gonna, it's like, I mean, really, how far could you really go?
Put the aliens in the Matrix films. Have them fight the alien queen and all that.
Well, they could be constructs in the Matrix. They could have, weird things with the Merovingian.
Have somebody with a mental disorder, and that's starting to bleed into the Matrix, and that's where you get
it's starting to infect the Matrix with fake shit, like
with a virus
stuff. That'd be interesting.
Hey, bring the guys from Reboot in it.
Yeah. All right. So besides the Matrix stuff, I'm gonna try to see Kong tomorrow. Now, Kong, I guess because of the weather and different things, it's making a little money. But I won't be able to tell until what's gonna happen on the weekend. Now they're saying that Beauty and the Beast is gonna do a monstrous $200 million opening.
Yeah.
Which is like what, the biggest opening ever?
It's up there.
I mean, that is gonna kill Kong in pieces.
Maybe the first week, but then it's gonna drop down to 2 or 3 by
but
the
we're going into third week with Kong. It would be like,
oh yeah, no,
yeah,
Beauty and the Beast is gonna own it. I mean, anything coming out like Kong, Logan's gonna be off the map because of Beauty and the Beast.
I know
Power Rangers is gonna get destroyed. Ghost in the Shell is gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell is going to be a failure. Let's just say right here and now, because
one of the
that's
reasons
going to be an embarrassment.
Is the whitewashing of the character.
Yeah, that's not even going to grow some $100 million.
And just to clarify, I'm not saying that Power Rangers and Ghost in the Shell are going to be bad movies.
No,
I'm just saying that Beauty and the Beast is a juggernaut. It's a box office juggernaut, even if it's bad. So many people are going to go see that just because they've marketed it really well. It's a classic story. And despite any controversy with the characters, people are going to push that aside and go see it anyway. So I mean, it was like we were talking about. Logan came out at a good time. Kong, Power Rangers, Ghost in the Shell, they're all screwed at this point.
But Logan's in the safe zone. I mean, Logan, yes, it's the last movie, but it's also at $444 million.
Right. So
it's going to reach $500 million. So it doesn't have to make anything beyond $500 million. It did what it had to do. And goodbye. And the only thing is that with the release schedule now, we're going to have another release, the Belko Experiment, which I don't know how that's going to be, but that is a new release too. And then the following week, we have not only do we have Power Rangers, but we have Chips, which looks funny, and the Shitty Life movie that stole the clip from Spider-Man 3, which is pretty hysterical. You saw that, Chris?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That's just absurd. I mean, that's just.
I don't blame the movie for that. I blame whoever cut the trailer together for that.
I mean, is it in the movie?
Probably.
That's terrible. How could you do that, though?
Well, using stock footage is nothing new, but I don't know how you get away with putting it in the trailer. I mean, especially now. You know, if the internet wasn't around, obviously, yeah, you can probably get away with that. But, I mean, it's like I said, I think these production companies should really start to consider cutting the trailers in-house like Disney does, because sometimes they put stuff out there and it's like, why is this in the trailer?
Yeah.
You know? But, hey. What do I know?
Yeah, because I was watching the trailer for Darkness Falls, and about maybe there were like, let's say, 6 scenes which they showed in the trailer, which was not in the movie itself.
Right. All right.
I've seen that movie like 4 or 5 times already, and I know full well those scenes were not in it.
So you're saying Beauty and the Beast is going to destroy the week of Power Rangers, Life, Chips, Salma, Jama, whatever the hell that is, and Ghost in the Shell and Boss Baby are going to be knocked.
It's definitely going to destroy Ghost in the Shell and Power Rangers, because basically the movie for Power Rangers, it's I'm sorry, it came out too late. If it came out maybe in the year 2000 or 2005, it would have done good. But they waited too long to do this live action.
Do you agree with that, Chris?
No, I think it could have come out at any time, but no, I shouldn't say any time. I don't think it's a problem that came out now. I agree with what you're saying, Scott. I think it should have come out earlier, but I don't think it's a problem that it came out now. The problem is when it came out this year. They put it a week after Beauty and the Beast, and it's like, you had to have known that they do it. So either it's a confidence thing, or B, maybe they just didn't know that Beauty and the Beast was going to be that big. I find that hard to believe, because you do the research, you see that these Disney movies, they don't not make $1 billion. You know, double negative there, I know, but like, yeah. But as for Power Rangers, I think that overseas, it's going to do really well, and I think Kong's going to do really well overseas. I'll tell you what, though. The one movie I think that's going to escape the Beauty and the Beast wreckage is going to be Boss Baby, because it's an animated movie, and animated movies always do well, usually.
I say Smurfs is going to...
Okay, well, that could do well.
That's
too,
a week after that. That's
okay,
April 7th.
Yeah, and they're searching for new Smurfs anyway.
Smurfs are in the clear with competition.
They are, yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, there is nothing coming out on the 7th, really, that I see that's a threat. That could generate 200, 300 million like that. And
it's animated. Yeah.
And instantly get Sony out of their funk. Well, that we planning Smurf movies for the next decade. And a Lost Village, they never had that in the cartoon. Yeah. So
no.
And then we got Fate of the Furious.
Well, that's going to do $1 billion too.
And that's on the 14th.
It's all the Fast and the Furious franchises always do good.
And there's no competition the week after. I see. Let's see what else in April. We have. The Circle. I mean, that's with Tom Hanks and Karen Gillan, and
that does look interesting.
That looks good. Yeah. A Blumhouse horror project that's unknown. We still don't know what that is. All right, let's go to May. May, we got Guardians of the Galaxy. That's it. That's going to destroy everything. King Arthur next week's going to get rocked. Mm-hmm. And then we got Alien Covenant on the 19th of May. And then Baywatch is going to get killed. Pirates may do okay. In June, we have Wonder Woman, which Mummy's out the week after that.
Yeah, I'm still. Every time I see that trailer, it's just like I'm not impressed by it.
That's
like
you know what? That's a busy month.
It's just Mission Impossible with magic in it.
June is a busy month. It was Wonder Woman, then Mummy, then Cars 3, then Transformers, then Despicable Me. That's a 5-week crazy month. and then Spider-Man: Homecoming is going to like destroy everything in July. And War of the Planet of the Apes, I don't know. I mean, Spider-Man: Homecoming may be kicking ass. And I saw the trailer for Atomic Blonde, so that looks really good.
Yeah, I saw that too. I thought.
And the Dark Tower, that's why aren't they making trailers for that?
That's having a lot of problems behind the scenes.
That's not
Yeah.
going to come out probably. I bet that's going to be delayed probably. Emoji Movie, August. Annabelle 2. See, August is just shit. Polaroid, the horror movie.
What was it called?
Polaroid.
Okay.
Are they allowed to do that?
Sure.
I guess so.
Sounds to me like another Unfriended.
No, but they're calling the movie Polaroid. They must have had to get rights to do that. Believe me. I mean, again, I think the summer's over early when when you look at it with certain things. So, what about the Godzilla thing? Anything? Godzilla animated, Chris?
Sorry, what was that?
Godzilla animated?
Oh, that's coming to Netflix. Yeah, they got the okay to do it. We're supposed to be hearing something about that, and I believed on the 25th.
Is that done?
It's apparently I know the voice acting is done.
Oh.
And I heard a rumor. I don't buy it, but we might as well talk about it. So take it with a grain of salt, of course.
Okay.
Either the movie is about Monster Island, that they had like humanity had like a observatory where they could study the kaiju on the island, and it was years ago, and something went wrong, and the monsters took over the island, and humanity's going back there to see what's happened. The other thing I heard is that it's on a totally different planet. So.
But how did they get on a different planet? They got transported?
The idea would be that the kaiju are not on Earth, that in this universe that they're on a different planet.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
So I don't know. I'm hoping for the Monster Island thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be upset if they do it on another planet, because I'll see what that's like. I think actually the idea of maybe them, because I'm pretty sure the movie takes place in the far future, which is cool. I think a Godzilla movie in the far future could be cool. I guess maybe they transported them to another island, which makes sense to me. If you have the capability, just get them off.
Well, it's like Monster
or another
Zero,
planet,
right?
I should say. Excuse me.
Where they got rid of them, and then the aliens had them in those bubbles. Remember?
That was in Final Wars, yeah.
No, not Final Wars. Monster Zero with the old one with the.
Oh yeah. Well yeah. That was for something different though.
Yeah. But then they wanted the monsters back to help them, and it was like a whole. And then the aliens controlled Godzilla and everybody. Remember that?
Yeah.
So, all right, it's getting late, guys. So we're gonna get out of here.
Well, there was one thing I wanted to bring up, because this is actually a pretty interesting story.
Okay,
We're on Netflix. I don't know if you guys heard this story, but apparently Orson Welles, they're going to be showing his incomplete final film called The Other Side of the Wind.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, apparently I guess they're going to let me see. It says the streaming giant announced today that it has secured the global rights and will finance the completion and restoration of the Citizen Kane director's final production, which has remained unfinished for several decades. Netflix
Yeah, because he was upset of how they cut either that movie or another movie while he was doing something.
Right. It says Netflix is working directly with Royal Road Entertainment founder and filmmaker Philip Jan. I'm not even going to attempt that last name. Who began the process of restoring and completing the film by raising $400,000 through crowdfunding as a part of an Indiegogo campaign in 2015 for a projected $1 million. So, I mean, it sounds like this is going to be a big deal. I mean, Orson Welles' last film, I'd be interested to see it.
I would definitely be interested to see it. All right. What else is there?
That was all the stuff I had.
Pretty much, right? All right, guys. That'll be it for tonight. Have a great night. Take care. Bye for now.